All right, man, what's good, y'all, man? So the AP poll top 25 just dropped. So let's react, man. Not too much changes, looks like in that top 5, top 6 too much. But let's give a full reaction after a great slate of football from this past weekend. All right, at number one, obviously, and as they should be, I told y'all about Oregon, and I told y'all they was going to beat them past 21 points against Illinois, and Dylan Gabriel lit it up again in Oregon offense ball, and they whooped up on Illinois. No surprise there. Definitely should be the number one team. At number two, listen, they got a little bit of a boost. Georgia at number two. They're going to play Florida this upcoming weekend in Jacksonville. Should be a pretty good game. So they're coming off that bye week. Penn State got a big one coming up this week. We'll talk about it later, but they're going to play 3 versus 4. They're going to play Ohio State in a much-watched CTV this upcoming week, man. Should be good. Ohio State struggled a lot with Nebraska. Nebraska gave them all they could handle. Dylan Raiola had a pretty decent game. They made it very physical. Defense was rolling around, but for the first time this season, we've seen Ohio State play some really good defense for once and make it tough. And we've seen Caleb Downs have a great game, and we've seen the defense finally kind of come alive. Shout out to them. Big-time win. All right, my Hurricanes got another big win over Florida State. Just doing a little bit of everything, man. Late night kickoff. Cam Ward had a receiving touchdown. Continues to light it up for the team, for the program. Big time win against Florida State. Really like where we're going. I got them on upset watch here in a couple weeks. We'll talk more about that matchup later. But nonetheless, man, my Hurricanes, I feel good about them. I feel like we're right in the driver's seat to make an ACC championship. All right, next up, Texas. So, look, you went, obviously, into Vandyland. You went into Nashville. You had a tough game against, obviously, the Commodores. But, hey, a win is a win. You'll take that. You did move down a spot in the rankings, but it's okay. Everything's still out in front of you, and you got to continue to play good football. Quinn Ewers finally looked better. Defense got to kind of get it together a little bit, but you'll take that win. All right, number 7 is Tennessee. They continue to look good this season. Big-time rebound win a few weeks ago against Alabama. They're going to be one to continue to watch going forward. Next, I got to give some love to Notre Dame and what they've been able to do. Big-time win against Navy, man. I mean, whooped them 51-14. The passing game got going. Riley Leonard looked good. Jeremiah Love looked good. That is how you win on the road. I thought that would be a trap game for them, but they really put it on them on the road, man. So maybe Notre Dame is more for real than what we think. Number 9, they just keep on winning. They just keep on winning. They just keep on winning. Right now, probably a lock to make the Big 12 championship unless they lose. But how the schedule looking, they've handled business. They've beaten Kansas State. Definitely having a great year. BYU is a team that can win in all phases of the game. I really like what they've been doing this year. Shout out to them. All right, next up, Texas A&M, the Aggies, man. How about them Aggies, man? Let's talk about the Aggies. Yo, you talk about making a bold move, and I talked about it in my other video about the recruits they just landed. Bro, they was down 17-7 at half. Nussmeier looked good, had a couple touchdowns. They had no answers. Their head coach, Mike Elko, makes a shift and puts Marcel Reed in the game. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I was shocked. I was like, you put Marcel Reed in the game? I know Connor Wickman didn't have a good game, and that's been a knock on him. Obviously, coming out of high school, he's a very high-end recruit. A lot of teams wanted him. But to make that decision at that stance in the game, hey, that's bold. Because if it doesn't go well, you're going to get critiqued. But it went great. Like, him having that, and it's not like his numbers were gaudy, but he made that LSU defense honest, right? With the read option, his ability to run with his legs, and then he was killing them with the downfield throws. That one downfield throw he made, that when it was trailing with a one score, yo, I was like, man, it might be that Marcel Reed era for them. And obviously, like I said, it rubbed everybody the right way. A lot of recruits as well. So if you're the Aggies, you handled business. The blackout was great. The fans was engaged and in tune. You had a sold-out crowd. Like, that's how you handle business against LSU. But I still think LSU is a good team, but they just met their matching now and couldn't sustain it long enough. And you got to credit Aggies to their adjustments because they could have quilted after they was down 17-7 and got blown out the framework. They did not. They made the QB change. It galvanized the team, and the team came up big. You got to give them credit for that, and head coach Mike Elko. So the Aggies doing their thing. 11, Clemson. I like them. I like what they're able to do offensively. Phil Maffa. I like what they can do with Brian Wesco. But, again, the jury's still out on them. I want to see what they do when they face a superior opponent. Like, the only one they face that was superior is Georgia, right? So I want to see what they could do when they face a harder opponent. Still remains to be seen for me. So I'm going to hold out just a little bit. Next up, you have Iowa State. They're having a really good year. Also in the Big 12 along with BYU, man. Can do a little bit of everything. They're running the ball well this year. Defense has been decent this year for Iowa State. They got some big games coming up, but got to give them credit, man. They're battling. Might be BYU versus Iowa State in that Big 12 championship game. Next up, you got Indiana. They continue to roll, man. They look good under Coach Cignetti. My goal is to try to watch one of the games this season. I've been so busy, but I'm going to try to watch one. But Indiana doing their thing yet again. Now, Alabama struggled early on, man. This game was 3-0 going into the second quarter, or midway through the second quarter, and they turned it on. Started getting going. Justin Hayes had that really big run in the game, powered over defenders. Defense stepped up, had 3 turnovers. They made a QB change as well. That's how you win at home. And to be honest with y'all, we'll talk about it down here. I'm actually waiting for my pick on that. But that's how you win at home, man. So shout out to them. Finally look like they're starting to get it together. And Bama fans, y'all gonna have to be patient. This ain't Nick Saban no more. You know what I'm saying? This is the Kalen DeBoer era. So you're gonna have to knock out them kinks and all that stuff and get right. But, keep hope. I'll say that. Keep hope. 15, obviously, Ashton Jeanty had another good game, over 130 yards rushing. They beat UNLV. Pretty tested game for them. But shout out to Boise State for a big-time win. All right, and then if you LSU, now that one turnover that Garrett Nussmeier had, I don't blame him too much for the one at the end where the dude just baited him, right? But he has to be better, and that's why I said it goes to getting the running game going. The running game struggled a little bit in that game. Getting the running game going with Caden Durham, right? Making some easy throws for him early on, and it felt like he was pressing later in the game when he knew his defense couldn't get stops. And they started getting pressure. I told y'all that Nick Scourton-led defense is tough, you know what I'm saying? And we seen that, and it affected them. And I still think, and honestly, humbly, I think that Garrett Nussmeier should come back another year, continue to develop. You're seeing bits and pieces of how good he can be, right? And then you're seeing the bad stuff as well. It's the growing pains, first-year starter. Like, you're going to see all of the ebbs and the flows, the ups and the downs, the peaks and the valleys. So I think it should come back definitely another year. I still think he's the quarterback for LSU going forward, but you're going to have to be patient and get through some of these games like this. Everything is still in front of you, right? You know what I'm saying? Got to get the bowl eligibility, right? That was your first, and let's put this in this power perspective. That was your first SEC loss. It's not the end of the world. Other one, you lost to USC. It is okay. Still got a lot of stuff in front of you, okay? You're right behind Texas A&M, who is still doesn't have a loss this year. They still got to play Texas. So everything is still in front of you. Lock in, right? Win these big games. You're going to have to win some big ones coming up, and everything is in front of you. That's what I would tell an LSU fan right now. All right, 17, Kansas. They continue to do their thing this year, man. Or Kansas State, I should say. Got some big ones coming up. Handled business. Struggled a little bit in their game this week, but pulled it out. Shout out to Kansas State. Next up, Pittsburgh continues to do it. Man, I talked about that game, I think it was Friday morning. They beat the crap out of Syracuse. And, Kyle McCord just has to be better, man. But shout out to their defense. 3 pick sixes in that game. 4 turnovers total. Hey, they balled out, man. So Pittsburgh going to be continuing to watch. They still undefeated in the ACC play. They're waiting for their shot, man. So we'll see coming up how good Pitt can be, and they could be in that conversation. Next up, you had Ole Miss. Ole Miss was able to fight back and come back against Oklahoma, who, as I said before, Oklahoma, they're going to be a team where they're figuring everything out. Jackson Arnold's back to starter, and they're going to still be wildly competitive. They're not going to have a great record, but they're going to be a competitive team. So going there and trying to win, it's not going to be easy. All right, next up, you got SMU. They had a big win, come from behind for them, being able to come out on top for them. Continue to have a great year for SMU. Fought through adversity, battled back, and won. All right, so now you got some new rankings. Besides Army is 21. They're in it. Washington State, for the first time this year, is officially ranked. Shout out to them, man. I'm going to be a continued team I watch going forward. I have not seen a lot of their football. I'll be 100% honest with y'all, but I'm going to watch them going forward. Next up, I love to see it. Colorado finally getting ranked for the first time this year. Hey, y'all can say what y'all want about Deion. All right? To go from not even being in conversation and being bowl eligible, I think it's the first time since 2016. To go from what they were before he came, obviously last year won 4 games, started off 3-0, didn't make it. To go from that to this year, playing really good football, beating good teams, beating a decent team in Cincinnati, right? Beating some of these teams that were undefeated at one point, UCF, who was 3-0. Not that good, but still. You got to credit Deion Sanders and what he's doing. And it's not just the Travis Hunter show, right? They got guys like LeJonte Wester. Shadura's playing really good right now. The running back game with August Stave and Welsh is going really good. They are a complete football team, and you're seeing it. When they got all their horses, they are a tough team to beat. Need some help to make a Big 12 championship, but they are playing good. I love to see that they are ranked. They deserve it. Next up, I think the teams now are overrated. Illinois and Missouri, I don't think they deserve to be ranked. Get somebody else in there. That's my humble opinion. That's my reaction to AP Poll Top 25. Y'all let me know in the comments. What's your thoughts on the latest poll?